All right, guys. As promised, we're going to do a torture test. It's really going to hurt. We just picked up a G3 for the channel, specifically for this purpose. If you notice, this is more of a stainless slide as opposed to the black slide finish that we had before. Not looking forward to it, but at the same time we are, because it's been something we've been thinking about for a while. We've had time to think about it and come to terms with the fact that it might mess a gun up a little bit, might mess a finish up, that is. But I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't think it'll mess the gun itself up. I think it'll, more or less just trying to, I've never understood why people do it, I could understand if you was a manufacturer and you was going to torture test it because, the Army was going to have it, or Rangers, or, the SEAL teams, or whatever. That would be different, but we're none of those people, and we're not going to be reconning through the desert and whatnot. But apparently people like to see it, honestly, I've watched some torture tests and I enjoy watching them. And, most of the time they just, get them real packed, crammed up full of dirt and sand and grit, and dip them in water and different things of that nature. Some people drop them. I'm probably not going to, I don't know. It's Trey's gun. Trey bought the gun. It's the stainless steel. That's what they call it anyway. It looks more like a flat, like
a silver matte finish or something.
But I really like my G3, and I want to keep the consistent number of rounds through it, because we are doing the longevity test to see how many rounds we can put through it without any malfunctions or anything. So I didn't want to do it to mine, because I actually really do like the gun, and that's something I never thought I would say about a Taurus in general. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the torture test of the Taurus G3.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it some more, about this whole torture test. We're still going to do the torture test, but we got a little bit of a stage that we're going to go through. So we got some dirt and some water that we're going to put everything in. But first, we're going to start by taking down the gun, because we don't want to soak the barrel in anything. So the way that you take this gun down, very similar to a Glock. The whole, it just slides apart. You got your lower recoil spring and your barrel. So we're not going to use the barrel to get it all caked up. Yes, we will assemble it back together in that fashion, but we're going to start out by just putting it through water and shooting one. So what that's going to do is take away all the factory grease and everything that it has on it. So the components we're going to soak are going to be a magazine. Let's do this one, the extended grip. We're going to do the magazine, the lower, the recoil spring, and the slide. So we got our bucket of water right here. We're going to start with the bucket. This really hurts, guys. I don't know. I like this gun. I've been playing with it a little bit, sitting in my chair, messing with the the action and everything. And I like it. I like it just like the other G3 we have on the channel. But so now that we got it soaked in water, I don't know, just wiggle it off a little bit, get the juices flowing. Sit her back down, and we're going to reassemble it. So we're going to put our barrel in. This really hurts. Recoil spring.
Yeah, it's not something that we as a channel really see a point in. There's no way I would take, $400 or $500 gun and do this to it. It's just, it is a cheaper gun. We got a lot of traffic on the channel with these G3 videos, and we wanted to, they function so well, and we talk so much smack about them. We wanted to see if they would function just as well with a little sand and grit and water in them, and I guess we're gonna find out. So
all right, so we're gonna put 3 rounds through it with just the water in the gun itself. Here we go. All right, it's time to include some dirt. We're going to implement a little bit. It probably is going to turn to mud, just because of how much we have. So
we're going to put a little bit more through it on the.
Going to set our barrel to the side.
A few more rounds, because I don't want nobody to say, well, you only put 3 through it. That ain't enough.
So we got our lower, magazine, recoil, slide. Dang. Oh yeah, we're also gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
All right, so we're gonna mix that around in there a good little bit. In other videos that we've seen and, you know, other reviews that we've read about torture tests, sometimes there's a little bit of difficulty with so we're gonna very gently place it along the sides and get it all, and then we're just gonna make it like a casserole, and we're gonna cook it all, that dirt and mush. And this is for you guys that are reconning through the desert. Bang a little bit of that dirt off so we still get everything, you know, functioning to the best that we can. I mean, obviously, if you have a freaking rock in your slide, you're not gonna have much. Gosh almighty, this really hurts.
You might have to rinse the slide out a little bit. I don't know. Let me look at it. Nah, you'll be good.
I'm ready to rock.
Let's look at that.
And roll. Let me get the barrel while you're getting a zoom in on it.
There ain't no way.
You don't
There's
think
no way
so?
that's gonna run.
All right,
I'd
barrel.
be shocked if you got it put back together. I mean, you see that recoil spring?
Barrel went in. I mean, you can hear that crunch.
There's no way.
Sounds like a.
If that functions, you're gonna have to put a few more through it. You're gonna have to do at least 10.
Gosh almighty.
If that goes through 10, man, I'm a Taurus man all day.
You're already a Taurus man, ain't you?
I mean, oh, that's rough there, buddy. Yeah, there's no way that's running.
Good
Anyway.
gravy. All right, so
Have
the
fun.
magazine's got a little something on it. I mean, you can see how muddy that is right there. Right there. Have you seen that?
You threw mud all over
I'm
me,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. I'll get you a new pair of shoes.
What's the problem with it?
All right, 2 rounds, 3. Gosh. I mean, that is just an atrocious sight to. I'm having a hard time loading this, but I
There's
think
no
that's
way.
because my hands are wet.
If it feeds 1 round after the first shot, I'm so
You're,
like.
I keep waiting for him to say I'm gonna buy you something.
Oh.
Because that's
how
what
many
they
you got
say.
in there?
5.
No, you got to do better than that. Grab you a few more.
We got more ammo?
Yeah, right there in them boxes, right there.
I mean, even my hands are getting roughed up right now. I don't know, guys.
Let's do 10. I mean, it ain't gonna
10.
get through 2, but you know.
Well, I've heard that, you know, ancient Greeks, whenever they were doing torture tests on their Tauruses, they rapid fired and it helped them get through rounds. Gosh almighty. I mean, it feels like it's so tight with all that dirt. It feels like I'm trying to load 20 rounds into a 15-round magazine.
How many you got?
Not 15. 9.
Put 1 more in there. Let's do 1 more.
Ah, you are
I don't-
wanting to risk it to get
I
the
don't
biscuit.
even know if it's gonna take 1 out of the magazine, just to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, Trey.
Let's just see it pull 1 out of the mag. That's what I want to see. Let me move over to the other side.
Yeah, you go ahead. Let me. Slide lock's back. It's functioning. We're just going to go ahead and put one in the chamber. Because why not? Gosh. Always keep your pistol pointed at something that you don't mind destroying. This is rough, guys. Let's soak it in the water one more time.
You shouldn't have poured that extra dirt on it trying to be fun.
Well, you were giving me the hand signal like Trey. Piece of dirt. And I was like, okay, Gene, if you say so. You know, it was doing all right.
Yeah, it was doing all right till you tried to be cute and put 1 in the chamber. You should have just took 1 out of the magazine.
Hang it, Bobby. Well. This is very frustrating, guys. So, we're just going to have to... It's getting her done right there. Well, we'll try to put one through the magazine like Gene was talking about, if it'll lock in place. So it locked in place. See, normally that should just flow, you know, pretty steadily.
I mean, you poured sand all
Oh, goodness. It chambered one.
Well, you had to hit it.
I did. And, you know.
Let's just see if it'll run. Shut up and shoot. Nobody wants to hear us talk.
Get behind your little screen.
Let's go.
Oh, God.
It ain't going to feed one.
Oh! How about that?
Oh! Do it again. Pull it again. Okay, it must not have chambered one. No, it didn't chamber.
It did
one.
not. But the slide is. Never mind. Oh. All right, boys. Hey, we even got some rocks and mud in the magazine now.
I mean, rapid fire, man. Like. Oh, hit it.
All right. It had to eject that one. This is not the safest situation, but it's the one we're working with. All right, so that casing or shell, whatever, went on the ground.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I say we should have been a little bit more fair. I
Oh,
think.
the magazine is. The magazine's done.
Well, you threw it on the ground like an idiot.
Well, this is the magazine's fault. So we're gonna load up this other magazine. That magazine's toast.
Why
Bit
is
the
it
dust.
toast? What happened to
There's
it?
no spring in it, so we're just gonna, you know, instead of trying to fix it, we're just gonna roll with it. So it did fire one. It chose not to chamber. It might have been because of that magazine. So, you know, I'm glad we put dirt in the magazine.
Did you put any dirt in that one?
I did not.
Thing?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try a clean magazine with a dirty gun, I guess. So we're at 3 rounds, 4 rounds, and 5 rounds. And just, you know, a PSA to you guys, we have a local gun shop that'll Cerakote these guns for us. For, you know, they charge, but might have to Cerakote after all this is said and done. Didn't feed.
Just dip it. Dip it in the water. Oh, look at that.
I think Gene's done this before. All right, guys. So that was, we had 5 in the magazine. We just expensed 1, so now we got 4 left.
It's definitely not chambering around. Just leave the magazine in there and put another one in. Let's see. It won't come back.
No, it will not.
Well, I think what we're learning here is the moral of the story is I probably would not recon.
If you're reconning with a Taurus, we need to talk.
You know, we've not done torture tests on other guns, but we have watched hit the bottom of that magazine a little bit on the like hit the bottom of it.
This magazine?
I think those rounds are kind of pointed down, like tap the bottom of the, not hard like to see. That's why it's broke. See how it popped up?
Well, it's a Taurus. It needs to be ready for Trey.
Okay. Well, we've watched other ones like SIGs and Glocks and stuff, and these, you know, run through these tests without seemingly no problem, unless, of course, it was fake news.
It probably was. I mean, like, there is no method to this madness. You either dip it in, you know, there's no, like, magic formula like, oh, if I use 50% water and 40% dirt and 10% grass, it's going to run perfect. No, there's no perfect formula. Stop putting your Tauruses in the mud.
They don't
right.
like it.
3 rounds. Let's see what happens. Rapid fire. See, it won't even do that.
Well,
It didn't chamber it.
Huh?
It didn't chamber one.
See, the slide is functioning, but it's not.
It's just not ejecting. So that was the spent casing that it threw on the ground. We still have Looks like 2 rounds left. So
the ejectors, it's not ejecting the round.
yes.
So it must be something, some sand in the ejector.
That magazine's just straight up. No. Put that in the garbage.
But you shouldn't have put so much sand in it. I mean,
Well, that's not my fault.
you know.
You guys saw that function.
Yeah, like, you know, I think Taurus is fine. Just
All right.
just
So
don't-
this right here is why you should not buy a no. It's just not ejecting properly. There's probably somebody put some type of dirt or something up in there.
I don't know who would have done that. That don't even make sense.
The slide is what went forward.
Well, hey.
That
hey.
seems to be the ticket. That's what you want to do. You want to slam the magazine in there as hard as you can. So the firing pin. Oh. So basically, what we have here is a.
A round that tried to chamber. Well, at least it's trying to start chambering.
So that's all she wrote with that magazine.
Well, what I think we're gonna do is we don't have cleaning supplies here, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pause here and we're gonna clean it up real good and get this grid out of it and everything and see if she'll run once we get it cleaned up and we didn't do any long-term damage. I don't know about this magazine here. I think Trey might just be being dramatic. We probably fix that, straighten that up.
Let me just show you guys what's going on with it. Ammo should not just, see, it shouldn't just slide in and out like that.
Well, the spring's not coming up because it's crammed full of dirt.
I told you not to put
Put
dirt
too
in
much
it.
dirt on it, man.
Well,
What's
I
wrong
was
with
trying to just be honest.
We-
See, look at that. It's just dropping ammo out everywhere.
Oh my God, that ammo's expensive,
I
man.
know. I'll find it. I know where it fell. So we'll wash this off.
Beat on it, man. I mean, just
Hey,
look at you.
look at you.
I told you.
So that's not what it should look like either. Ammo
it
should not
shouldn't
be
look like
facing
that.
straight up.
But you did put dirt in it. I don't know why.
God,
but
that
you
is
did.
tight. All right.
This is the reason why we don't do torture tests, you know?
We get carried away because in order to do a torture test, you can't have a care in the world, and that's what.
But I will say this, though. I will say this. I have watched other torture tests, and unless it was fake news, I have seen Glocks and certain SIGs and certain guns have done torture tests on that absolutely performed a lot better than this one. Now, maybe we should have rinsed it a little bit more. Maybe we should not have, got so much freaking sand in it. Trey got carried away. I mean, he was all in with it for sure.
He did get carried away.
But it did fire and it did hit the target. It just wouldn't chamber another round, which maybe you should not have dropped the magazine in the dirt.
Well, for those of you guys that have been reconning through your backyards whenever we get these bad rains and you're thinking, man, I need to practice. Do not carry this Taurus when you're doing that because it's not going to perform. But, on a serious note, I'm impressed that we got what we got out of it. I mean, it wasn't, I think if it was a Glock, maybe a little bit different story. Maybe that'll come, soon to you guys. Let us know what you guys think.
Well, like I said, we're gonna clean it up real quick right here. Not a full-on cleaning because, of course, we don't have our cleaning supplies here. But then we're gonna come back in and let you see after we clean it. I'm getting bit by fire ants, I do believe, but whatever. There's fire ants everywhere. I'm tired of it. Anyway, so we took the gun apart, and of course, there was a lot of grit and sand in these. Where the slides on the frame here. It doesn't look like it really done anything aesthetically much to the gun, the slide or anything like that. It looks like it's in good shape. So, it did scratch it up a little bit on the top here, but you really, really have to bend it in a certain light to see it. So I'm kind of impressed that it didn't really, and I think maybe if we would have had the black slide, it might have roughed it up a lot more. But anyway, what we did find is here on the ejector, there was a buttload of sand built up in behind the ejector there. Sorry about all the wind. But so I think, and we noticed that on the rim of the round here, that each round as it would attempt to be chambered, it would just clutter with sand around that lip of that round. So that's why it would not eject the round and put the next one back in. Not to mention Trey, supersized the sand in the magazine. So Anyway, we just took it apart. We sloshed it around in the water real good. We took the firing pin out here, rear slide plate, and wiped the barrel down. Like I said, we don't really have anything to clean it out with or anything, so it's still, you know, it's still oil free. Nothing in there to lubricate it. We just basically got the sand out of it, and that's basically all we did, was just got the sand out of it, washed it out with the water. So it's gonna put it back together, and I know Trey's holding his breath, and he really hopes this thing functions, because he really does like the gun and he wants to use it. He wants to use it possibly for his everyday carry. So I'm just gonna put, you can see all the water still all over the spring. Just for good measure, I think I might dunk it in the water one good time, you know. But I'll say this, if it functions, you know, after having cleaned it up and everything, I'll be happy with it, because like I said, I'm not reconning through the desert. I'm not a Navy SEAL or anything like that, so I don't think most of the people that's watching our channel is either. So, you know, I don't know too many people in too many applications that's gonna do that to a gun and then wipe it up, you know. So let's see how she does.
I'm sold.
Trey's happy, I know. He was a little worried about whether or not it was going to function. Let's put it in some more water.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to switch places here, and Trey's gonna run some down. We just didn't want to, you know, stop the feeds or anybody say was doing anything suspicious or anything. So
Let me get my ears. I was holding my ears throughout the previous video. But I am really happy with that. That's awesome. I might actually have to go pick me up a holster. I think of all the holsters I have, it seems like I'd have one that was maybe a little more universal. But we'll see. If not, I might have to go pick me up a holster so I can daily this thing.
And it was still pretty accurate too. I still shot as good with it, just as good a grouping as I was before. I understand it has no oil in it. We've dumped it in water a few times, so.
And that's muddy water too.
I'm gonna rapid fire this old girl before we leave now. Go, boy.
I like it.
That's real nice. I like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean,
Taurus,
I am pretty impressed with that.
Good job, Taurus.
Huh?
Good job.
You
Taurus
know,
did a good job.
again, you know, it didn't, and we haven't done, this is the first torture test we've done. We just kind of watched a few videos online, try to see what other people was doing. We couldn't tell how much of the sand they were washing off of it or anything. We may have had too much sand in there. Maybe we didn't give it a fair shake, but you know, hey, like I said, we didn't oil it up or anything. We just took the mag apart, cleaned it, took the slide firing pin out and cleaned it, washed it in water is all we did, and wiped it off with a rag, and then dipped it in water again. And she ran without any issues. So
Taurus did a good job.
yeah, so hope you liked the video. Please comment, get your friends to subscribe. I know we said that we weren't going to do this unless we got 350 subscribers, but Trey wanted to do it. He was so gung-ho.
I couldn't. Gene mentioned it, and it was time.
So I hope he's happy. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe out there, and God bless.